Hello 7th class, this is your science teacher Ms. Uruma and I am going to teach you chapter 4 heat. So what is heat? Heat is a type of energy which is formed when we rub two objects against each other. For example, when we rub our hands in winter, they become warm because of friction. Okay, so friction is generated just because of heat. Okay, when you run or do any other physical exercise, then also our body used to sweat. That is also a form of heat which is formed by our body when we do any physical exercise. In this chapter we will study about heat. What is heat? Temperature. Okay, heat is measured in the form of temperature. So this we will study in this chapter. Transfer of heat. As heat is transferred from one substance to another, that is transfer of heat, and the instrument which is used to measure heat, okay, that is thermometer. So we will study about these some topics in this chapter. Okay, so how heat is measured? Heat is detected by temperature. So temperature gives us the degree of hotness and coldness. Okay, for example, we sense the body which is hot. Okay, so how we sense it? By touching it. So we can sense whether the body is hot or it is cool. For example, a cup of tea. If we touch the cup of tea, then obviously we will feel it hot because it is hot. Okay, or we can touch ice, that is cool. So like this we can detect the temperature of that substance. Okay, so this is called as the temperature. When the temperature is high, then the substance is hot. When the temperature is low, then the substance is cool. So as we are talking about temperature, so we will know what are the unit of heat. Okay, so some units of heat are joule and calorie. Okay, but we use joule in this chapter. Why? Because joule is the SI unit of heat. We can denote it by J. Okay, so what is the SI unit of heat? It is joule. So in this chapter we have learned about what is temperature. Okay, degree of hotness or coldness of any substance, that is temperature. Unit of heat are joule and calorie, but the standard unit of heat is joule. Okay, that is called as SI unit. Okay, so now came, see, whenever any substance is boiled, for example water is being boiling, then we can see that the particles start moving very far apart from each other and they start moving very fast. Why? Because they are hot, because they are boiling. So we can say that when any substance is hotter, okay, heat, because of heat the particles start moving apart from each other. They used to move faster because of heat. Okay, but when the substance is cold, for example we can say that ice. So ice is a type of solid and it is also very cold. So the particles are very packed. They are so much closer to each other. They cannot run fast. But when we will boil the water, the particles will start moving far apart from each other and they will start moving faster. Okay, so now we will study about how temperature is measured. So temperature is measured in three scales. First is Celsius scale, second is Fahrenheit, and third is Kelvin. So all of you are familiar with Celsius and Fahrenheit scale, but Kelvin is the new type of scale. It is a standard form of scale which is used in laboratories. Okay, Celsius and Fahrenheit are used to measure the temperature of our body, that we are familiar of, but Kelvin is used in laboratories. Okay, see, Celsius scale. If we are talking about Celsius scale, so we can denote Celsius as degree C. Okay, degree C is called as Celsius. The freezing point of water in Celsius scale is 0. Okay, and the boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade. Now Fahrenheit scale. In Fahrenheit we will say that freezing point of water is 32 degree Fahrenheit and boiling point is 212 degree Fahrenheit. So these are the two scales which we are familiar of. Okay, Celsius and Fahrenheit. But the standard form of scale is Kelvin scale, which is used in laboratories. Okay, so the freezing point of water in Kelvin is 273.15 Kelvin and boiling point is 373.15. But if we want to convert Kelvin into Celsius, then we can convert it by the formula K is equals to Celsius plus 273. For example, if 0 degree centigrade is given to us and if we want to convert this 0 degree centigrade to Kelvin, so how will we will convert? we will add 0 plus 273. Okay, then we will get in Celsius, that is 273 Kelvin. Okay, now we have learned about scales, but we don't know what is the instrument of measuring temperature. So the instrument of measuring temperature, I think you all know, that is thermometer. Okay, for measuring the temperature of our body is mercury thermometer that we use in our homes. Okay, one more thermometer is there, that is digital thermometer, in which the numbers used to come. For example, if your body temperature is 98 degree Fahrenheit, then it will come on that, okay, on that thermometer in digital form. Okay, but in mercury is filled in these type of thermometers. Okay, I think you all have seen these type of thermometer at your homes. Okay, or you can see it in medical stores also. Now laboratory thermometer. Laboratory thermometer are also similar to mercury thermometer, because in these type of thermometers also mercury is present, but the scale is different. For example, in laboratory thermometer the scale is minus 25 degrees centigrade to 350 degrees centigrade. This much large scale they have. Why? Because see, minus 25 degrees centigrade means very low temperature. The temperature is very low. The objects, the substances which are present in laboratory, their temperature is very much low, and the temperature may be very high also. That's why the scale is from minus 25 degrees centigrade to 350 degrees centigrade. Okay, now temperature is clear to you all, and the instrument which is used to measure temperature is thermometer. Okay, so now we will study about how heat is transferred from one body to another. Okay, so as you all know that heat used to transfer from body at higher temperature to the body at lower temperature, because the heat which is present at the higher temperature had a lot of heat. Okay, it contains lot of heat, so it will transfer the heat to the places where there is less amount of heat. Okay, so some ways are there to transfer heat. These ways are called as conduction, convection and radiation. So firstly we will learn about conduction. What is conduction? We can take the example of, for example, in your home when any elder is making tea. Okay, so obviously the tea is hot, so when we will dip the metal spoon in that tea, the spoon will also become hot. Why? Because of transfer of heat. The heat is being transferred from that hot tea to the metal spoon. Okay, so this is called as conduction. We can say that this is a type of conduction which occurs in solids. Okay, transfer of heat in solids is called as conduction. When the heat is not provided to a substance, then the particles of solid used to vibrate at their position. But when we supply heat to them, then what will happen? They start vibrating faster and they start colliding to each other. Then they will transfer from one body to another. So this type of transfer is called as conduction. Okay, and this happens only in solids. Okay, and during these collisions the heat is transferred from the hotter area to the cooler area. Okay, so this is called as conduction. So if we are talking about solids, so it is not important that in all solids the heat used to get transferred so easily. So the solids in which the heat transfer easily are gold, silver, iron, aluminium. Okay, because all these are conductors of heat. But there are some more solids which are poor conductors of heat. Example, glass. Okay, the heat will not transfer easily through glass. Some solids are also there which are non-conductors. Not at all poor, they are non-conductors. They are also called as insulators. For example, we can say that wood, paper, bakelite. What is bakelite? Bakelite is a substance which is present on a cooker handles. That black color substance called as bakelite. Okay. So now conduction. Conduction occurs in our lives, everyday life also. For example, in metals, like I have told you, aluminium, copper, and some alloys are also there. What is an alloy? The mixture of two metals is called as alloy. Okay, the mixture of two metals is called as alloy. Like we can say that stainless steel and brass. These two are the alloys used in cooking vessels. Okay. So in these type of substances, the heat can conduct very easily because they are good conductors of heat. But these are like aluminium and copper, these are the very good conductors of heat, but they are very expensive, so we cannot use in regular utensils. Like second, we can say that handles of cooking utensils are made up of wood. Okay, why they are made up of wood? Because if they are made up of metal, then the heat will transfer so easily through them, so we cannot handle them so easily. So that is why they are made up of bakelite, because bakelite is an insulator in which the heat cannot transfer. Now woolen clothes. Woolen clothes, they keep us warm. Why? Because they have pores in them in which the air can trap the air easily. Okay, so air will not escape to our body. So that is why we will not feel cold in woolen clothes. One more good conductor of heat is jute. Okay, if we cover the ice slabs with jute, then ice slab will not melt, because jute used to absorb all the heat which is coming from outside. Okay, so jute is an insulator. It used to trap the air which is coming from outside so that the ice will not melt. Now, second is convection. What is convection? It is also a mode of transfer of heat, but not in solids. It occurs in liquids and gases. Okay. For example, if we are boiling water, okay, so when we take water in a container, then the water is cool. Okay, so the area which is exposed to the stove, okay, the area which is exposed to the heat, it will become hot. So after that, that hotter area will transfer the heat to the cooler area also. So the cooler particles will also become hot. So this is called as convection, or we can say that this type of movement or currents, we can say that convection current. This is also called as convection current. So now we will study about how convection occurs in our everyday life. For example, refrigerator. So refrigerator, the air which is present in the freezer compartment, it is cool, but the air which is present outside the refrigerator in the filament, we can say that it is very hot. Okay, so that next is room heaters. Okay, so room heaters are making the whole room hot. Okay, because the heat which is coming from that room heater making the whole room hot, and the heat used to rise up making the cool air hot. Okay, next is air conditioners. So air conditioners are making all the room, full room cool. It is making the hot air also cool. So this is called as convection, which is transferring from one area to another, from the higher concentration to lower concentration. This is called as convection. Okay, which is occurring in our everyday life also. Now next type of heat transfer is radiation. What is radiation? The energy of the sun reaches to us in the form of waves. Okay, the energy which is coming from the sun reaches to us in the form of waves. So this type of waves, which are coming from the sun, are absorbed by all the matter present on the earth. So this type of radiations are called, this type of waves are called as radiations. Okay, there are different types of radiation. We can say ultraviolet radiation, visible radiation, okay, infrared radiation. Different types of radiations are there which are coming from the sun. Mainly the waves which are coming from the sun are called as infrared waves. Okay, it is making all the objects heats up. Okay, this type of transfer of energy is called as radiation. Okay, now see how heat is being transferred. First of all, heat which is transferred from solids is called as conduction. Example, metal. Okay, the heat which is transferring from metals is called as conduction. Second is convection. What is convection? The transfer of heat in liquids and gases. Okay, and what is radiation? The transfer of heat in vacuum, in any empty space, is called as radiation. For example, the sun rays. Okay, these are called as radiations. Mainly the rays which are coming from the sun are infrared radiations. Now radiations in our everyday life. We get heat from the sun in the form of infrared radiations, obviously. Okay, we all know that. So what happens? What is greenhouse effect? The carbon dioxide, what the carbon dioxide do? The infrared radiation which are coming from the sun, before reaching to us, the carbon dioxide used to absorb all the infrared radiation, and this is called as greenhouse effect, because after absorbing all the infrared radiations, carbon dioxide used to make the all earth hot. Okay, so the earth will heat up, so it is causing the earth warm. Okay, so this is called as greenhouse effect. Okay, next is solar heaters and solar cookers. What they used to do, they used to absorb all the heat which is coming from the sun. Okay, all the infrared radiations, and are used for making food. Solar cookers and solar heaters are used to make any. Okay, now see, surfaces of room heaters are silver and shiny. Okay, why they are silver and shiny? Because they used to reflect the heat which is coming into them. Okay, if they will not reflect the heat, then we will not feel hot. Okay, that's why the solar heaters are silver and shiny from the back. Now next is why we wear dark colored clothes in winters and light colored clothes in summer. Because dark colored clothes used to absorb most of the heat. That's why we never used to wear dark color clothes in summer, because in summer if we wear dark color clothes, then it will absorb more heat, then we will become more hot, and it is not good for us. So that is why we used to wear light color clothes in summers and dark color clothes in winter. Now next is expansion. What is expansion? We have already studied about the transfer of heat. Okay, these are convection, conduction and radiation. Now expansion. As you all know that whenever we are, so what happened when we are heating any liquid or solid, or we can say gas, okay, then what is happening, the particles will start moving fast. So if the particles will move faster, okay, then they will be far apart from each other. It will create a space between them. So due to the space, the volume of the particle increases. So this is called as expansion. So expansion takes place in solids, liquids and gases as well. Now expansion in our lives. Have you seen railway tracks? Railway tracks have small gaps at regular intervals. Why? If it will be close to each other, see the small gap is there na, but if it will be close to each other, then what will happen? If they will expand in summers, then the accident may happen. That's why the gap is remaining in between, so that if they can expand, then they will fill this space. Okay, because in summer if they will get more heat from the sun, so the bump will come out. Okay, so it will causes more accidents. That is why the gap is being made in between. Now similarly, the gap is being made in the steel bridges, steel and concrete bridges, because they used to expand in summer. Okay, because they are also made up of metal na, so that's why they used to expand in summer. Now we can take one more example. For example, if you pour boiling water in any thick glass, okay, in any thick glass if you pour some boiling water, then what will happen? It will crack. Okay, why it will crack? Because it will expand from the inner side, and if it will expand, then it will crack automatically. One bimetallic strip is there. What is bimetallic? Bi means two metals. So two metals are joined together in this type of strip. Okay, brass and iron. These are two metals which are joined together in this type of strips. You can see. Okay, so normally these strips are straight in fire alarm. Have you seen fire alarm? It is present in lifts or in malls. So in fire alarm, these type of metallic strips are straight at normal temperature. But when the fire occurs, then what will happen? They will bend and they touch the connector. Okay, they will touch the connector which is attached to the bell. Then the bell rang, then we will come to know that fire is being occurred. Okay, so this is the fire alarm. Okay, in this way the bell used to ring when the fire has been occurred in any mall or any other area. So this is your whole chapter. I think you all have understood very well. Thank you.